Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And yesterday we did the first stage of the three-way battle for Turbo Battle. Now it is time to go up into the Bulwark Battle, which is another older event that has come back again. It used to be, Defense Battle, and then they added Bulwark as a higher difficulty version of that. And now they have brought it back again. But since this is an older stage, I again have a playlist for Bulwark Battle and Defense Battles that you could watch if the teams that I show today don't fit your fancy. But the last time we got a video for this was December of 2024, so almost a full year ago. There have been quite a few teams that have come out since then that can probably get this done. So, looking at it, this is not a traditional fight, this is a survival fight for 5 turns. They do not have HP, you just have to outlast the 5-turn limit. But Elmezia, with 11,500 attack and guaranteed pierce and pierce power and guard penetration and what does Gazzle do? He does ult and crit damage and crit rate. You're going to need a little bit of extra defense here in order to survive the 5 turns. So that's the entire point of this fight. I don't really care how much you can nuke for, because it doesn't matter, because they can't die. You just have to live. So bring your strongest defensive characters, whoever they are. And we got some missions. So Bulwark Battle, everyone alive, all physical, all magic, 2 free-to-play characters, and guard 5 times. Well, that'll be fun. So let's build some physical and magic teams that can guard. Okay, this first team is really a combination of 2 different styles that you can run to defend against this fight. So we've got Protector Hestia, because she's giving the extra skill points, she's doing converting for us. It works. We've got the Vengeance Yom and Vengeance Raphael. Now, Yom has the physical resistance attached to his Vengeance skill. Raphael has the guard and the seal and the element resistance. So Raphael is going to be a defensive juggernaut in this stage because it takes away their ability to crit and pierce for multiple turns, and you'll be fairly protected. So that's one way you could go about it. The other way is by bringing the Water Rimuru here in the back slot, or Earth Lumi for the Ult Deny, so that most of the damage coming from Gazzle and Elmezia is coming from their ults, because they have the big time buffs, and then Gazzle's single target and Elmezia's AoE. So if you bring 1 or 2 characters, or maybe 1 character with, and then like a multi-skill from Divine General Diablo or Danmachi Shuna or something, then you could deny both of their ults multiple times, and you will never actually take an ult, especially if you have a protector that's giving you a lot of skill points. So turn 1 here, we've got the Rimuru to convert, just 4 orbs to get us Hestia, turn 2. And now we're going to have 137 points. So let's convert with Isis, because we need to, because Hestia wouldn't convert 5 orbs. She'll only convert 3. But she'll give us 110 points. And now we can use the green buff. Boom. And then we can bring in Raphael and Water Rimuru. And we could deny either Elmezia or Gazzle. It's really up to you who you want to deny. Gazzle being single target will do more damage to one singular person, but you know, the AoE means everyone's getting hurt. It really is depending on how you want to play this. But we'll seal their ability to crit and pierce, and will give us the element resistance. And we'll send all 6 of these orbs. So, boom. I believe we've denied Elmezia. So now we're only going to take the Gazzle ult. She does not a lot of damage. Gazzle on his ult does 1200 damage because he doesn't have the pierce or crit. So, these are 2 different strategies. If you don't have the Water Rimuru or Earth Lumi, but you do have Vengeance Rimuru, Raphael, then you could do that. You could just guard and seal, and you will be just fine. If you don't have Vengeance Raphael, but you have the really, really old Earth Lumi and this Water Rimuru, then you could kind of build this team on a denial setting, where every turn that they're going to send ults, you just pop a deny, and they'll never ult you. So you could build this team 2 different ways. And if you want to build towards the denial, then you'll replace Raphael and probably Yom with some other characters who might give you other defensive abilities like attack lowering on the enemy or defense raising, or just simply more orb changers or more skill points. One of them will probably have to be a multi-skill character, like Divine General Diablo. That way you could use Reamer's or Lumi's Deny twice in a turn, and that'll keep you protected while not having two different characters who can do it. Just having one will work. But on the final turn, as long as you're protected, you only need to send one orb. Like, there's no benefit to sending 6 greens here, because the fight is over. So here we can deny Elmisia or Gazel again, and then they're still sealed and everything. We already have the defense, so we'll guard and we'll do the physical resistance, so Gazel doesn't do much, and then we'll simply send 1 green orb. And Elmisia does nothing, because she doesn't have an ult, and Gazel does 1 damage. So, yeah. There's a couple different ways that you can clear this fight using different styles of team, but built into one, essentially. Okay, next is the most recent team, and this team won't get all the missions done. Obviously, we have a full physical team, that's good. We have 2 free-to-play characters in Gobta and Trishula, and we can get the 4 Dragon Souls by turn 5, which will allow us to tank 1 of the ults. Just Elmisia, though, because she then removes our status. So if you're going to build this team specifically, then someone is probably going to die anyways, but you could very easily replace the hero with an Ult Deny character like Rimuru or Lumi from the first team, and then you could kind of negate that issue. But going into turn 1, we'll convert into 4 blues. You do need a bit of good RNG for turn 2, so you get a lot of blue orbs that you can use to change. Or, I mean, any blue orbs. Many times I tried this, I only got like 1 blue. It did not work very well. But here we get 2, which is fine because we're going to use Veldora. He's going to change 2 more. We have 27 points, which means that we can use the Emil's multi-combo, and that will allow us to send 4 blues but act like 6. So we'll get 1 Dragon Soul, we'll get 4 blue orbs here, and then next turn, Emil's will convert 2 of the orbs to blues anyways, and that'll really get us started. You just need a good turn 2. But you do need to survive to get to turn 5 to begin with. So that ult's going to hurt. This Gazel ult is also going to hurt a little bit. And now it's just a game of, do you have the stats? But, again, you don't need to bring the hero. You can bring Earth Lumi, you could bring Water Rimuru. It wouldn't get you the full physical team mission, but if you just want to get the win, then this team will do it. Because you'll be protected for the big-time nukes on turn 5. And if you don't really care about doing those other missions, then, and this is the only team you have available or some kind of semblance of it, then yeah, it'll work. You don't need the hero. You don't really need Rimuru that much, unless he's an orb changer that you need. You just really need the combo skill from Emil's and Trishula and Veldora for the actual Dragon Souls themselves. So this turn, we're only sending 3 blues. Well, 2 blues, essentially. So we'll use Veldora again. We have now 3 orbs, and then we can just send 2. Boom, boom. Full 200%. This means that we'll have 4 Dragon Souls on turn 5. We could use the invincibility gimmick, and then we can tank the Elmisia ult. We won't take damage from that, but then she will remove our invincibility status, and then Gazel's going to hit us, and he's going to kill somebody. Maybe 2 people, depending on how unlucky you get. But here's the 4th soul. We really only need to send those 4. Again, damage doesn't do anything, so there's the Turd Nugget. There's the debuff, which doesn't matter. There's the invincibility, which we tank, but then it's gone. And then Gazel comes in and nukes down Fount of Wisdom Rimuru. And then he just kills Emil's because he's got low HP. So, yeah, not everyone is alive, but we did clear it. And we got it with all physical units and 2 free-to-play, so technically it works. Again, not going to hit everything, but if this is the only team you've got available, then and you want to beat the stage, you can certainly get the job done and you can tank a little bit. The next team is going to be the Determination to Prosper meta, led by Maribel with Lumi and Elmisia. And then we've got 3 other free-to-play characters here in Rieger, Rimuru, and Soka. Really, you're just banking on the Super Guard from Maribel, and then the Resurrection State for a couple of turns with the Lumi and the double HP increase from Elmesia, because on the nuke turn, Elmesia is going to remove that invincibility status. But since we'll have double the amount of HP, it's not really that big of a problem. We'll still take damage, but we'll most likely be able to tank. So turn 1, orb change with whoever you want. It doesn't really matter. If you want to bring the skill point unit so we can use Lumi turn 1 for the full 6 hand, you can do that, but I'm going to play this assuming you just have the 3 characters we get for free and none of the skill point units. So we can just leave that for turn 2. So, boom. Now we can full convert here with Lumi, give us the full hand. We could use Maribel. Now we're going to have Guard and Super Guard. So as long as they don't ult, which they're going to, we won't take that much damage, because Guard does not protect you against ult damage, only from normal attacks. So we're going to take some hits here, but we'll heal it all back with Lumi next turn, because the Resurrection State lasts for 3 turns. So, alright, tank the ult, cool. And then Gazel comes in. As long as he doesn't kill Lumi, because she's under half HP, then we're okay. So now, 150 points. We'll full convert again. We'll use the HP increase and the Resurrection State, so we're going to full heal up to double our normal amount. And we're still able to send 6 blues and have Super Guard. And then we'll heal for the next 3 turns. Well, two turns, essentially. This turn, turn 4, and then turn 5 it's going to get removed. But we're going to have double the amount of HP as we normally do. So we're not truly going to be in danger. So, alright, Super Guard, and Super Guard, and Super Guard, and Super Guard. Cool. And then there's the heal, heal, heal. 45,000 HP heal right there. Excellent. Now the only thing we need to do is full convert again with Lumi so we can get more Maribel. We only need to use 1 Maribel a turn. There's no real benefit in this stage from double stacking Maribel. The control stack's giving us weakness strike, like, yeah, that's cool, but we're not trying to kill here. We're trying to survive, so you don't need to use any more than 1 Maribel per turn. And again, we will tank these, and we still have big HP, and we're still going to heal any damage we take back anyways. So there's the Enamor, there's the control, there's a little bit of a heal, and now it's the final turn. Elmesia is going to remove our resurrection, so we cannot revive on this turn. So we'll just send 1 green, boom, and then Elmesia. All right, 20,000 damage, but you see our HP is still max. 22,000. We only take a little bit of damage there, and yeah. Look at that. Because we had double the amount of HP from Elmesia's skill, raising our HP threshold, and then the healing status from Lumi for the last couple of turns, we've healed back up to that double amount. So at that point, Elmesia had like 66,000 HP or something. So even when Elmesia and Gazel ulted, like, we're still gonna be perfectly okay, because we still had 20 to 30,000 HP left over in our pool. So that's the other way you can try and survive this, is by giving yourself a fuck ton of HP and just face tanking everything. And it's a full Magic team with at least 2 free-to-play characters, and everyone is alive. Alright, the next team is the Reckoning team. This team is not as effective as you would like it to be, unless you have a Frey that came with the meta that raises your HP threshold and heals you. That way you could do pretty much the same thing as what the Prosper team just did, and just have a whole butt ton of HP and they can't kill you because you have way too much. But in the event you don't have Frey, like, you can still make it work, because Hinata for many of the turns will have that HP regen field and you won't actually take damage. It's just that in order to tank that final turn 5, you're going to need some kind of defense. So we've brought Earth Trainee with her skill fusion that gives you 50% ult resistance, which means that Gazel and Elmesia would only do 50% as much damage. It's still going to be a bit scary for some people, especially if you don't have her skill fusion. But if you do, you can make it work. And if you don't, just bring an Ult Deny character like Lumi or Rimuru from the first team. Or Raphael. That'll work too. That's the full Magic team. We do have 2 free-to-play characters in Shizu and Traya. So turn 1, we use the Convert with Yuki and the green buff to give us extra skill points. And that means on turn 2, we have access to 63. Not quite a Masayuki. We've got the 25-point Heartscape, which if you want to use here, you can, and that will allow us to do a little bit extra. But we're just going to full convert with greens here and run with it, I believe. Because maybe you don't have that Heartscape yet. You get from building your Zania up, and you don't have it certainly at level 3, where it gives you 25 skill points. So take the damage. Alright, cool. And then, yep, that hurts a little bit. And then Gazel's going to hurt a little bit more. But now we have Masayuki, who's going to give us an AoE heal, because we've got the AoE heal charm on. And he's going to give us 100 skill points. So let's do convert, and then the Reckoning, and then the green buff. We'll use Masayuki here after that. And then we'll use Yuki's convert and Shizu's convert. And then we can also use the healing field, the regen, with Hinata. So boom, boom, and the protection gauge on greens. So we got a full hand of greens that are buffed up by skill points, buffed up for protection gauge. We are invincible on this turn, technically. But Elmizia is going to remove all that shit on turn 5. So if you have no way to defend against ults on turn 5, someone's going to die here. Thankfully, because we brought Trainee, we do survive. Hinata is in the red, I think, but oh well. So here, turn 4, let's just use the same skills pretty much over again. We'll do the ult swap, we'll do the protection gauge, we'll do the healing field, Masayuki again for another 100 points. And here is where you would use Frey to raise your HP and to passively heal at the end of the turn. That way you'd have extra. Or you could bring Vengeance Raphael and you could seal their ability to crit and pierce and all that, and that would take away a lot of their damage potential as well. Or on turn 5, you'd ult deny them. You could alternatively also use the Dark Rimuru to yoink the ult. I don't actually use him in any of these teams, but that is another strategy you can use. It would absorb Elmizia's ult. I think because it absorbs it, it doesn't remove the effects. I could be wrong on that, though. If someone wants to use that and let me know in the comments, please do. If we steal the ult away and give it to Rimuru, does the ult effects still happen? Does she still remove our shit like that? And then Gazel comes in, 10,000 damage, but it's better than Hinata dying right there. Thankfully, he'd only hit her once. But that's because we had the 50% ult damage resistance from Trainee right there. And everyone is alive, all magic, 2 free-to-play characters. But yeah, let me know about that Rimuru strat. Alright, the final team I have is going to be another physical team. We've got Elmizia, who, you know, wouldn't normally work, but she is giving the 30 free skill points. You could use any of the protectors that do that. New Year's Blessing, Shion, Shuna, Soe, like whatever you want. Just simply, we're making rainbows and we've got oranges. So we've got Water Soe for the attack lowering and the defense up. We have Light Shizu, who is skill fused, for her single target healing and her 80% chance to guard and her attack lowering. Gobta and Ramos are both free-to-play characters. They both have the blue orb change, so we can get Elmizia turn 2. And then we've got EX Yom, who is giving us defense and also crit resistance, or lowers the enemy crit damage, one of the two. He's going to make them hit a little bit less hard. So we have a lot of defensive mechanics coming in without having like ult resistance or extra HP or resurrection states, things like that. But they also can't remove any of the things that we have here. So the attack and the defense will work, the guard will work, the crit resistance or whatever Yom is doing will work, and they can't really do anything about that. They can't remove it from us at any point. So turn 1, we will blue orb change again. This will get us access to Elmizia, who's going to give us 30 points, plus she's going to convert the entire hand, and that's just simply why we used her. Again, you could use anyone that you want in this scenario, as long as they're giving you some kind of skill points. That's the most important thing, because you do want to be defensed up for these ults that are coming in. So, defense and crit resistance. Okay. So we're getting defense from 2 different things, Soe and Yom. So if you don't have Soe like skill fuse or something, then you could use someone else, a different defensive character. Our damage here doesn't matter. What matters is how much little damage we take on this ult, which Almizia does a whole whopping 832 damage, and then Gazel does 797. So yeah, lowering their attack, raising your defense, giving yourself crit resistance, gonna be a pretty good thing right here. So send the ult, send the blues. We just want to have Almizia active. I just need points. We really don't need to do much in this fight except make sure that on turn 2 and turn 5 we have all of our defensive mechanics up. So Soe will last for 2 turns. We'll reapply everything here. And then I think Shizu's attack lowering is better than Soe's. So you take your pick on who you want to lower even further. They don't stack together. It's not going to be like 80% attack down. It'll just be someone has a little bit lower attack than the other because it's a single target debuff. So this turn, all right, we're taking 1 damage, and a cheeky counter, and 1,000. Okay, but now we've got the ults. We still have all the defensive mechanics up, so we don't really need to do anything. We'll just send the 1 Soe orb, and Almizia ults us for 1,100 damage, and Gazel comes in with 1,062. But we didn't need any additional HPs. Yeah, we do need some skill fusions, and Yom is an EX character you get only from tickets, but again, it's a strategy that doesn't rely on extended HP thresholds or other kind of HP gimmicks. So those are 5 teams that you can use to clear the Bulwark Battle stage. Again, playlist for the previous videos will be in the description below, and if you used anything else that you found to be successful, like Tail Shion or something, like that can work too. But whatever you've used, let me know in the comments below so other people can check it out. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.